Alrighty. Alright. Alright, good morning, everyone. This is WHIT Radio. Today, I'm your host, Ahmed, and joining me today is Kevin and Jason.
Yeah.
Today, yeah. Today, we're going to be talking about the first topic we're going to be talking about is should students be able to grade their teachers? Now, the first question I have for you guys, do you think if a teacher gets bad grades, if the student, evaluates them, from the students, do you think the teacher should be fired or should they have a second chance to try and earn a better grade for the students? So how do you guys feel on that?
Kevin, you want to go first?
All right. I honestly think that if a student grades a teacher, right, and the teacher
Yeah.
gets a bad grade, I feel like they should go to basically a camp for teachers to show them how to become better teachers, basically. Because the thing with teaching, every student is different. Like different students need different qualities to be able to succeed in their academics, and I believe that like an academy for teachers basically would help them like individualize each person to treat them equally in their own way at the end of the day. So basically it's you treat everyone differently in an equal way basically to their
Alright.
own needs.
Okay. Jason, do you have anything to say?
Um, I think it could be a good idea, but I think it could also backfire because, like, if you leave that up to some students, you could just get like some students that, even though they get, I mean, good grades for a teacher, like, I mean, if it's because the teacher's getting poor grades, but the students maybe like that teacher because maybe that teacher's really lenient or something, so they let that teacher off or something, or if they don't like the teacher is really strict or something, they could just punish them just because they don't like them. So I think you're up to the whim of some really immature students,
Yeah.
and like and really I don't think you can penalize teachers too much because everybody pretty much has like the same core curriculum that they have to teach. Everyone has their own different styles, so it really could be up to the students. And if you go to a if you go look at the grades of like of like say like an inner city high school or something, places where like the funding is poor, the
Yeah.
grades are poor overall because the school as a whole suffers from a lack of funding. And so you know are we just gonna start firing like inner city high school teachers, left and right, or what?
Yeah. Alright, that's good. What about, do you guys think it's fair, like, this system that students should be able to grade teachers? Why or why not?
um I mean, like, I don't think a lot of kids would be like emotionally, I mean, not emotionally, like be capable of making a mature decision like that.
Yeah.
um because like you have someone's job on in your hands, that's someone's lifeline, like, what they use to support themselves. So I don't think some kid should be left up to decide someone's fate like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the student basically isn't developed enough.
Yeah.
They can't really. The grading shouldn't depend on a student who's not mature enough for the situation of grading a teacher. I mean, a student doesn't really know what a teacher needs for them to succeed. That's why the schools hire the teachers, not the students. The schools know what the teachers need, the qualities that they need to have to be able to teach their own students. So I don't think it's actually fair for the students to grade their teachers.
Yeah, actually, I agree with both you guys. I don't think students should have the power to grade their teachers just because, let's say a first grader, you know, like when they're that young, they'll probably find I don't want to say the dumbest, but like, a reason to get them fired, like if it's no big deal. They'll just try to over exaggerate whatever the problem is, and maybe it'll hurt them in the long run. So, the next question is, do you think students will give fair grades to the teachers? Like, will they show any favoritism towards the teacher? And, like, why or why not?
Um, I think that would be the problem with that system. Like, you know, you would have some kids that just biased. Maybe they don't like the teacher, or they really do like this teacher, so they're just giving like really unfair grades. And so that, like I said before, I don't think they should be left up to that. Like anybody would really make that choice. Like, you know, if you have like an employee who's like, say, reviewing their boss, they would probably go for a boss that's, you know, a little more lenient or something. So I mean, it's not just the kids. Like, I don't think you should be, yeah, so I don't think you should be able to put someone's, you know, job on the line like that, you
Yeah.
know. It's, I mean, over something that could really be influenced by, you know, personal opinion and not their actual performance.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like favoritism would be a large factor in the grading system for teachers. I mean, the thing is, every teacher and every student have different basically chemistry with each other. Some teachers, you know, find it easier to handle certain students, while others find it harder. And at the end of the day, it's how they get along for each student. I mean, some students would be grading fairly and grade each teacher based on their certain recommendations and restrictions and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like the chemistry would affect a lot the grading system for the teachers.
Yeah. All right. And do you guys think if this were to come true, how do you think teachers would react if it becomes true?
I don't think they would take to it really kindly, because I think they would just feel like this is just, you know, a blatant violation in their job security. So I don't think they would really, you know, appreciate that. You know, like you're putting your life in the hands of some kids. Like, not your life. I mean, your lifeline. You know, your career in the hands of some kids, and so it could really, you know, damage someone's you know, resume to see they've been fired because their students didn't like them, and so now someone's, like, you know, entire career and life could be ruined because of something like this. So I don't think teachers would take very kindly to that. I think there would be some real big problems, some strikes or something.
I mean, you'd be surprised, but this system is already happening. I remember I was taking a college course, and some advisory just randomly came into our classroom and told us to grade our teacher. And I feel like the system is already occurring. I don't feel like it weighs too much on the teacher's career. Like, I feel like basically only like gives them like a heads up, like what they're failing at, to basically succeed, to help their students succeed, and what they're already doing good, and just to give them like basically a guideline to help them out. But I feel like it shouldn't affect a teacher's career at the end of the day, even though it already occurs.
Yeah. All right, and I guess this will be the final question we'll have time for, is if you disagree with this, which both of you did, why do you think it's unfair for students to grade their teachers? Do you have any other reasons, like, why you think it's unfair, other than maybe some of them you stated, or you just want to talk about what you said again?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's also just a problem. Like, how do you implement this? You know, like, are you just gonna like, I mean, is it gonna be like anonymous, or are the teachers gonna be able to see who it is? Like, you know, it's just like a lot of unanswered questions. I don't think it's I just don't think it's a smart system. Like, I don't think it'll ever come into fruition, and I think with good reason.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, the students are at their highest peak for their intellectual age, and I mean, you could argue that, but I mean, they're not mature enough to handle the situation that has to do with actually grading a teacher. I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of different factors that have to do with how you think of the teacher, and I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like each student should be treated in a different way for them to achieve their educational success, but at the end of the day, fairly. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but each student should be treated equally, but with different like circumstances, basically.
All right. Yeah, so that's going to be it for the show. This has been Kevin, Ahmed, and Jason, and thanks for listening.
Hey, man.